Okay, picture this. You see a massive, scaly reptile lurking right at the water's edge. Your mind starts racing, right? Is that an alligator or a crocodile? It's got to be one of the most common mix-ups in the entire animal kingdom. But believe me, the differences are way bigger and a whole lot more interesting than you might think.
And hey, it's a totally fair question. I mean, they're both ancient, they're both incredibly powerful, and let's be honest, they're both undeniably intimidating. For most of us, they might as well be the same animal. But here's the thing, they're not. And knowing the difference, it isn't just for trivia night. It can actually tell you a ton about their behavior, their habitat, and yeah, even how cautious you really need to be around them. So, we're gonna arm you with a simple set of tools. A checklist, really, that'll turn you into a confident reptile identifier. Seriously, no more guessing. Let's dive right in.
All right, let's tackle this reptile riddle head on. So why is there so much confusion in the first place? Well, the answer, and this is pretty cool, goes way, way back. Millions of years, in fact.
Believe it or not, gators and crocs are basically cousins. They're part of this incredibly successful group of animals that have been ruling the waterways since before the dinosaurs checked out. Think about that. They share the same basic, brilliant blueprint for being an apex predator, and that's exactly why they look so similar at first glance.
So to solve this riddle once and for all, we just need a simple checklist. I've broken it all down into 5 key visual and behavioral clues. If you can master these 5 points, you've mastered the identification. It's that easy. Okay, the 2 biggest, most reliable visual clues are right here. First up, the snout. Just look at the shape. Alligators have a wide, rounded, U-shaped snout. Super easy to remember. Crocodiles, on the other hand, have a longer, more pointed V-shaped snout. U versus V. Got it? Okay, second, check out the teeth when their mouth is shut. An alligator's upper jaw is wider and covers all its lower teeth, so you get this kind of clean profile. But a crocodile, it's got that famous toothy grin. That big 4th tooth on the lower jaw is always sticking out. It's a dead giveaway. Next on our checklist, location, location, location. Seriously, where are you seeing this animal? Alligators are freshwater specialists. They stick to swamps, rivers, and lakes, and that habitat actually influences their color. They're usually a dark, almost blackish gray. Crocodiles, though, they're way more tolerant of saltwater. You'll usually find them in those brackish, coastal areas. And their lighter, kind of olive or tan coloring, perfect camouflage for those spots. All right, this brings us to our last 2 points on the checklist. Size and, well, attitude. I mean, let's be real, both of these guys are huge. But crocodiles definitely hold the record. Saltwater crocs can get to be over 20 feet long. Alligators usually top out around 15 feet. And, this size difference often goes hand in hand with their temperament. Generally speaking, alligators are less aggressive. They'd much rather avoid people if they can. Crocodiles, however, can be a lot more territorial and a lot more aggressive. So let's put it all together. If you see a bigger, toothier reptile in saltwater, you can be almost certain you're looking at a croc. Okay, so now we can tell them apart. Awesome. But now let's get into what makes them both such incredible survivors. I'm talking about a biological toolkit that is, and I'm not exaggerating here, basically a collection of reptilian superpowers. So all crocodilians share these amazing adaptations. First, unlike most reptiles, they have an advanced 4-chambered heart, just like us, which is super efficient for delivering oxygen. They've got incredible night vision, thanks to those vertical pupils. Their backs are covered in what is essentially armor, bony plates called osteoderms. They even have this special pouch in their throat that lets them catch prey underwater without drowning. And their lung capacity is just insane, letting them stay submerged for a really long time. This isn't just a random collection of features. This is a design perfected over millions of years for pure predatory efficiency. But crocodiles have one unique superpower that alligators just don't have. These things called lingual salt glands right on their tongues. And this is their secret weapon. It's like a built-in saltwater filter. It lets them get rid of excess salt from their bodies. And that's the key to why they can live in saltwater habitats all over the planet. Alligators don't have this, which is why they're stuck in fresh water. It's this one little evolutionary trick that literally opened up the world's coastlines to crocodiles. So, why does any of this matter? Well, because these animals are what we call keystone species. Think of them as the ecosystem's managers. By controlling prey populations, like how Nile crocodiles keep catfish numbers in check in African rivers, they stop any one species from taking over and wrecking the whole system. They also act as nature's cleanup crew, scavenging and keeping the waterways clean. Bottom line, their presence is a sign of a healthy, balanced environment.
Okay, we know they're powerful predators. We know they're amazing survivors. But let's get to the question that's probably on your mind. How dangerous are they to us? Let's break it down. So, here's the reality. For the most part, both of these animals would rather avoid people. Alligator attacks are extremely rare, and they usually only happen when a gator feels cornered or someone's provoked it. Crocodiles, though, that's a different story. Because of their sheer size, their natural aggression, and their tendency to see anything of a certain size as potential prey, they are unfortunately responsible for way more attacks on humans around the world. And whatever you do not underestimate their speed. That animal that looks like a lazy, sunbathing log can literally explode into action. A crocodile can hit speeds up to 22 miles per hour in short bursts on land. That's faster than you think. They're ambush predators, and that sudden, shocking burst of speed is a huge part of their attack. So the safety rules are really simple, and they apply everywhere. Number 1, always keep a safe, respectful distance. That's a no-brainer. Number 2, never, and I mean never, feed them. When you do that, they start to associate people with food, and that is just incredibly dangerous for everybody. And finally, number 3, be extra vigilant with pets and children anywhere near water and their known habitats. All right, so we know the differences, we know the superpowers, we know the dangers. But now for the fun part. What if we put them head-to-head? A hypothetical matchup. Let's look at the data and see who we'd have to crown the ultimate predator. First up, raw power. Let's talk bite force. An alligator's bite is immense, okay? It clamps down with about 2,500 pounds per square inch of force. But then you look at the saltwater crocodile. It can generate up to 5,000 psi. That is literally one of the strongest bite forces in the entire animal kingdom. In a fight, that is a massive advantage. And then you've got the tail of the tape, the size difference. The biggest alligators are impressive for sure, clocking in around 15 feet, but the largest saltwater crocodiles absolutely dwarf them, reaching lengths of over 20 feet and weighing well over a ton. In any physical contest, size and weight are pretty much everything. So when you put it all together, the bigger size, the vastly superior bite force, and that more aggressive temperament, the verdict is pretty clear, isn't it? In a classic head-to-head battle, the crocodile is the undisputed champion, probably 9 times out of 10. And if all that raw physical power wasn't scary enough, listen to this chilling insight about their intelligence. Crocodilians have a surprisingly complex brain, with parts responsible for memory and reasoning. This quote, "Crocs neither forgive nor forget, and they can hold a grudge for decades." It hints at a level of awareness and memory that just makes them even more formidable. They learn, they remember, and they are absolutely not an animal to be messed with. You know, at the end of the day, these animals aren't just reptiles. They are absolute masters of survival. They have weathered mass extinctions that wiped out the dinosaurs. They've survived countless changing climates. Their story is a 55-million-year epic of adaptation and dominance. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In a world that is always changing, what can we learn from a design that's so perfect it has barely needed to change at all since the age of the dinosaurs?